And we're live. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of our Wednesday night live stream. I am so excited to be here with all of you tonight and have the opportunity to talk about the Mandela effect and many other interesting topics as we come across them in our community. First, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of my life. Your support and friendship means the world to me, and I'm so grateful to have all of you in my corner. As we all know, the Mandela effect has taken us on a wild journey, filled with twists and turns, much like a roller coaster ride at times. Some of you have been able to navigate the journey better than others, but I want to assure you that I am here for you, just as much as you've been there for me. The Mandela effect has significantly impacted my life as well as the lives of many others. It can be difficult and challenging, and even frightening at times, but I want to express my full gratitude for the support and community that we all build together. Speaking of support, I would like to take a moment to give a special shout out to Miss Cynthia Sue Larson. Cynthia, happy birthday. If you're out there listening, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. January 11th is Cynthia's birthday, and it's one of those. It is really a strange number, the 111. 111. So it is an awesome birthday to have. She's very special to our community. I hope you have an amazing day today. That you had gotten everything that you wanted, Cynthia, and that this year brings you all the happiness and success you could ever ask for. Now let's dive into tonight's topic as we continue to explore the Mandela effect and its impact on everyone's lives. I've explained to you guys before. It's like we're trying to play detective here. We've we've seen the crime scene. It's pretty much a crime scene, and we've got the yellow tape up, and we're just trying to investigate this. And I hope that by coming together and sharing our experiences, we can gain a deeper knowledge and understanding of this phenomenon that is happening in the world around us. I also hope that we can provide a space of comfort and support for those who are struggling to make sense of things. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the conversation. Remember, this is a safe space, so let's keep it that way, okay? For everyone, and to share your thoughts with others and your ideas and stories without fear of judgment. Let's come together as a community to support one another and make sense of the inexplicable. Thank you again for being here and being a part of this community. So Sandy's with me. We're going to be having Tom here. He should be joining us here shortly. We'll do a few shout outs. Sandy, would you like to do a few shout outs?
Well, there's literally a couple. There's only two people in the chat that I can see right now.
Well, we've got 13 people watching. I can see the eyeball there at the
I
top telling
do,
me
but I
there's
can
13
only see
people.
Mandanimal and Concealed Title. Welcome, both of you.
Yes, concealed title. Thank you for sharing that. Accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you will be saved and given eternal life, according to Romans 10:9. Jesus is coming soon, and concealed title says they changed. He changed their life, and he can change your life too. Don't get left behind. Don't get left out. Yeah. So as you all know, my channel is geared toward the Mandela effect. Although we do talk about other topics with self improvement, also with along the lines of prayer, and Jesus Christ, and we talk about Bible stuff. So be sure to hit the like and subscribe, guys, if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell also to get the notifications. Anything else you want to share, Sandy, right now, or shall we dive into Reddit? Or
Well, if you give me a minute, there's actually. I wanted to ask people, I have to find it. It's very far down in my folders. And this may have been covered. I don't know all the Bible changes. I'm going to put money on it that this was covered. But the thing that makes this different is that it's in the Catholic Bible. And I don't know if many of you know this. A lot of the Mandela Bible changes are not in the Catholic Bible. The Catholic Bible still has it the old way, usually. Oh, here it is. Give me a minute. Okay, I tell you, You shall love blank neighbor as yourself. Has that been covered? The commandment?
Love your neighbor as yourself. That is the new commandment that Jesus gave us. The supposed 11th commandment.
What was the old one? You said
Well, I think one of them was do unto others as you would have unto you.
no, no. That's it's that was always there for me, but it was love thy neighbor, not your. Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor as yourself. Yeah.
You said your. That's what it is now.
Was that the New American Translation?
That's the Catholic. All my Catholic Bibles say your. I mean, and it should be thy. Love
Well,
thy
it's
neighbor.
just like it at church when we say the Lord's Prayer. You know, I keep wanting to say, "For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever, amen."
Oh, that's not what
And
we say.
no, we say what we say. We
For thine
say
is the kingdom, the power, and glory, yours now and forever.
it's slightly different.
I think different churches say different things, which is crazy. They all said the same before. There was never variation. Again, the Mandela variation effect, which I think we should devote a whole chat. Like, there are people who come in and out of our shows. They don't know what a manscuse is. They don't know what the Mandela variation effect is. Now, these are terms I came up with, but it's patterns. They're patterns that I see that I put a name to because I kept seeing these things
Well,
over and over and over again.
well,
And Mandela,
that's what I think the Mandela effect is. There's some kind of construct of a pattern that we just not capable of recognizing at the moment. Because if you break it down, it's all ones and zeros, right?
no,
Yes,
not for me.
it is.
Brian, can you look it up in the King James Bible, the
What am I
commandment?
looking up?
Mark 12:31.
What version? King James or New American?
King James. It should be thy, and it's I believe it's going to now say, "You shall love
Um,
your neighbor."
and it says here, and the second is like, namely this: Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
It says
There is
thy.
none. It says thy neighbor.
So the check the New American.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so if we look the um, the New American Bible translation, Mark 12:31, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these.
Your. So this is a change that's happening in the Catholic Bible, but not the King James.
But what about the word these? There is no other commandment greater than these. Shouldn't it be this?
Well, no, there's 10 commandments. That's plural. Are they speaking of
No, it says
the
love.
first
Listen.
commandment?
Hang on.
It's
Listen to the context of it, Sandy. The second is this: You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. It should be
no, that
this.
should be this. That should be this.
Doesn't make any sense.
Unless it's now referring to the first and the second being.
It could be the first and the second
And if
related to
that's the
this.
case, that's still a change. It was
Well,
this, and it was just referring to
I have
the.
to, speaking of these and this, I have to ask the chat because a lot that's one pattern that we recognize with the Mandela is that some things have gone singular, other things have changed to plural. So, like when you think about sweet dreams are made of what?
And also, we see that pattern
Right.
in our daily lives now.
But Sandy, sweet dreams are made of what?
I know.
These.
It was
It was
these.
these, and now it's this. And I was completely shocked when I found that. I was like, holy crap. I was like, what? What is going on here? So I had the deer in the headlights at that moment when I found that one out. I'm sure you get
But
that a lot, Sandy.
yeah, but I'm actually blown away because usually when there's Bible changes, the KJV has changed, but the Catholic Bible is not. And this time it's the other way around. The Catholic Bible has changed, but the King James has not.
Well,
I don't
do me a
normally see
favor.
that.
Do me a favor, guys. Look up, if you have a Catholic Bible, look in, um, what is it? Not Mark. It's Matthew. I think it's Matthew
312,
6. Is it Matthew 6? It's talking about the,
1231.
no, Matthew 6. I believe that's
Oh,
the one that talks about the
I'm
Lord's
sorry.
Prayer.
I was talking about Mark 1231. I thought you were going to tell him to look up to see if there says your or thy. That's Mark 1231.
Matthew 6 contains the Lord's Prayer. 9 through 13. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come,
Art.
thy will be done.
You didn't say art.
It says, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your
Oh,
name.
stop. No. Our Father who art in heaven.
No, it says, Our Father in heaven.
That's what I'm saying. That's a change.
Really?
It was our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Well, how about the King James translation? The King James says, Our Father which art in heaven. I mean, which one is it?
Oh, no, I am freaking out right now. Absolutely not. It's always been our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Now, if you read along while I say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done
On earth
as it is in heaven.
it says, give us today our daily bread.
No, give us this day our
Give us
daily
this day our
bread.
daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
No, mine doesn't say that. Mine
It
still says
says,
trespasses.
no, this one says debts and debtors.
Okay, now we have to look up and see if the Pope changed it, because that's possible too. The previous Pope, or no, the current Pope made a lot of changes to the prayers that I do not agree with.
That was not this Pope. That was the previous Pope who did that.
It was the previous Pope. Made lots of changes that I do not agree with, and that sounds like change because my older Bible still has the Lord's Prayer the way I remember it.
Okay, let me look at the. I'm looking at the. So it says
Dale,
here.
wait. Dale, does yours say
Our
art?
Father. It says in the New American. It says, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom
I'm looking
come,
up
your
a
will
different
be done
source.
on earth as in heaven." It says, "Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our." It actually says trespasses in there in the New American.
Yeah, trespasses. See, now if I just Google Catholic Lord's Prayer, it says from Xavier University, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. There is nothing wrong with this. This is perfect. And this is what my Bible says. But the thy now being your, never.
No.
Love thy neighbor, always. Always.
Well, I suppose we have a problem on our hands.
But wait, I was asking Vale something. Vale says Arth, A-R-T-H. Are you reading a Bible that says A-R-T-H?
I don't know, but that reminds me of.
Remember A-R-T-H?
That reminds me of Darth, like Darth Vader.
Or Garth.
Garth, yeah, from Wayne's World.
Or Garth Brooks. But it's always been art for me. Which always confused me when I was a kid.
Well, the Nicene Creed has changed, and that was because of the Pope. The Pope changed that one, the previous Pope.
And I still say the old one.
I can't even say the new one.
The new one is ridiculous. God forgive
Not
me.
consubstantial with the Father. Consubstantial. What is consubstantial? That's weird. Anyway, so I'd like to have somebody call in if we could. Would anybody be willing to call in and share your story? If not, that's fine. We can dive into some Reddit stuff. We have, let's see. I hate to put a time limit on things, but I'd say we can give it about 45 minutes more.
The show?
Well, yeah.
You want to put the number in the chat in case they want to call in?
Yeah, sure. Sure, Sandy. Hey, Sandy. So for people who don't know you, people are thinking your name Diva. Did you pick that because you're a diva, or is it because of your last name?
This is my last name. It's easier. It's easier for people to read Diva than it is Divananzo.
That's true. That's true.
It was one of my nicknames in grade school.
I'm sorry. What was I looking up again? Oh yeah, phone number. Where are we? There we go.
Other nicknames include San Fran because my middle name's Francis. And my one friend called me Colonel Sanders simply because Sandy and Sanders. No other reason.
Okay. Well, I've posted the phone number in the chat. Feel free. Someone may call in, and we'll be happy to hear your story. Again, everyone, please withhold any judgment. Oh, we're getting a call. Hang on.
All right, I'm going to switch to the iPad as a viewer so I can actually hear. Hey, Brian, we can't hear you at all. You're muted.
Okay, yes. Caller, hey, you're on the air.
Yeah, this is LJ. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I had 3 new Mandelas I just saw this week, and then there was another one that I had talked about before, but I think they moved one of the Dollar General stores. It's down in White Oak. This is east of Pittsburgh. There's a Rainbow Shopping Center, and then across the road is another plaza, which I don't know the official name of the plaza, but or maybe that is the one with the old Rainbow Theater in it. Anyway, the Dollar General is, as you're looking at the plaza, far down to the right near the theater, and I was all surprised that was where it is because I remember it always being in the middle of the plaza. But then as I looked at the stores, I didn't see any stores that I don't remember being in the plaza. So I don't know. It's either me being confused or it's a Mandela, but I don't know. I was very surprised that. But it looks like it's always been there, of course.
It's always been there?
Those are the worst Mandela effects when you see physical changes in front of you.
It looks like it's always been there. It doesn't look like anything new, or that it was recently moved or anything like that. It just looks like it's always been there. So maybe it's me being confused and it hasn't moved, but I don't know. I expected it to be in the middle of the plaza, and it wasn't. It's down to the right end of the plaza. And I wouldn't have even thought that was a Mandela. I would have just thought I'm confused, except that so many other people have seen buildings move that, I don't know, maybe it did move. I don't know.
I've heard stories about that where items have moved like geographically. And this is how many people do you know that are affected? Is it just you, or are there other people?
I never talk about this to anybody. So
Oh
I'm not
man.
going to take a poll. So I'll probably never know. Like, there
Oh,
might be a lot of other people who feel the same way, or I may be alone, but I don't know.
I don't know, but like I've heard stories where these buildings just show up out of nowhere. Like they're like you know how long it takes to build a building. I mean, it takes
Right.
several months. But I witnessed a McDonald's go up within 2 days,
Yeah, which is not possible. Yeah.
unless they're 3D printing materials. I don't know. um,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
LJ said that the building looked old.
Bergen knows the plaza I'm talking about, you
the
know.
the building looked old. You said the building looked old to you.
Yeah, it looked like, it had always been there. Yeah. And maybe it has. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
LJ, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying that I those are the worst ones for me. When I see something in my life, in my town that's physically changed, they are the worst ones. Like I've covered a street name changing, like a very famous street, an entire town, the name changing. But seeing a building move, that recently happened to Jeff as well. I don't think I could handle that. It's so horrible.
I
I
don't
hate
know.
it.
It just, and I'm not sure. Maybe I am just confused. Maybe it's just me. I don't.
You probably aren't confused, but
I don't have anybody to ask.
I like the disclaimer, but you probably are not confused. You probably are not. You are probably
I
spot
mean,
on.
it's never happened to me before. So it's not like something that happens to me from time to time. I've never thought that a building moved ever. In fact, I sort of look for these things because people talk about them. So I looked for new buildings and I looked for change signs, and I never. Well, I did see like when pennies changed the spelling, but it's like I look for these things and I haven't really found them, and then all of a sudden, I seems to me that was in the middle of the plaza, and now it's at the end. I don't know.
Well, how could that happen?
Well, it could be me just being confused, or it really moved. I don't know.
Things happen all the time, and like I've heard people place stuff in drawers in their kitchen. They open the drawer and the item is gone. Things like that. It's like, where did it go? And then it shows up mysteriously like 30 minutes later. It's back. So
Yeah.
maybe you experienced a parallel.
Maybe
Is it possible it was a
the next time
parallel
I
universe?
go, it'll be in the middle again.
Have you noticed like time moves different to you? Does it move different?
Yes, time is much faster.
I don't know
I
what.
think everybody feels that. I think people feel that don't even know the Mandela.
Well, what gets me is like the Mandela effect is such an interesting topic, and when you explain it to someone, they might lose interest. It just doesn't interest them, and I don't know. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, I'm nerdy, so I get interested. Then another one was I like to look for mushrooms, and I wanted to find out what mushrooms might be out in the wintertime. So there's this guy on YouTube, Learning Your Land, Adam Harrison, and he's in Western Pennsylvania, so same region. And so now some of the videos I looked at I hadn't seen before, but some of them were repeats of ones I have seen before. Well, all of a sudden he's wearing earrings. He didn't used to wear earrings. And like in one of them he has this blue thin headband on. And I have seen him wear a wide one that's camo before. But this was a thin blue one. And then in another one he had this kind of asexual type of scarf on. So he's looking. Now I'm not making any comment about gay people. I'm not making any comment other than to say these are kind of like gay type of clothing. And It doesn't matter to me whether he wears gay clothing or not. It's just that he didn't have it before. And now he does on videos that I've seen before.
But you're not the only one, though, when it comes to these buildings. I just noticed there was this post on Reddit from Fearless Mode 8823 11 months ago. Says here, has anyone experienced a building or landmark moving or changing? I have one experience relating to this. The old Fort Worth, Texas post office building. It's big and beautiful, and it's an old building built in the 1930s. I feel like when I was a kid, the building was on the south side of the Interstate 20, and now it's on the north side of Interstate 20. I never really put a lot of thought into it until about 5 years ago. Me and my 65-year-old father were downtown Fort Worth, and he was looking at the post office where we were driving. He said, I thought the post office was on the other side of the highway. Do you think they could move a building that size, or am I crazy? I told him he was crazy, and we moved on. But that got me thinking about it, and I really feel like I remember it on the other side of the highway too.
Yeah, many people have had buildings moved, so I think it might have actually moved.
I think so too. A lot of people talk about speaking of landmarks, okay? Landmarks such as the Statue of Liberty. How many people can truly say that they remember the Statue of Liberty was on Liberty Island versus Ellis Island?
I've been to the Statue of Liberty when I was there as a child, about 8 years old, approximately, maybe a little bit younger, I'm not sure. We went on a family vacation. It was on Liberty Island. Then I went there in the 90s, and I took a boat and went under the nose of the Statue of Liberty, and it was on Liberty Island. It was always on Liberty Island. They built it there on purpose. And so it was like Ellis Island was a whole different thing. That was where the immigrants came, separate deal. And so what? It was never on Ellis Island for me. And it keeps hopping back and forth.
Yeah,
Ellis Island and back.
I know I've seen people who posted you know how pictures contain this little thing called
LJ.
No.
LJ, no, it's the opposite.
Wait, what are you saying, Sandy?
It's the opposite.
You're saying it's on Ellis Island now?
People remember it on Ellis Island, but it's on.
Yeah, it's
I'm
always
on a delay, so it's messing me up.
I've seen people.
No, I'm saying people remember it on Ellis Island. It is on Liberty Island, and there's people that remember it on Ellis Island.
I've heard people remember it each way. And it seems like people from New York remember it different ways. So that's, the people from where it is remember it different ways.
Well, Preliminal says, I don't remember Liberty, but with that elevated building.
I remember Liberty Island. I'm a Liberty Island person.
But there's a lot of
people who remember Ellis Island.
There's a lot of people that don't remember the elevated building underneath her.
No, it wasn't like it is now. It just there wasn't even a star for it. There was just the platform. And the story was that America built the platform and France sent the statue. And there wasn't even a star for it at all at first. Then there was a basic star for it, and then it started getting taller and taller.
Jeff Zanzibar is saying, he's in the chat. Hey, Jeff. He said it was on Ellis Island for me, and I was there, he said.
And he was there, see?
Vale.
I'm not going to argue with them. It probably was.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with them either. I know for me it was always on Liberty Island as it is now, so I'm not really affected by this one. However, It is interesting how when people take photographs, and there's that little thing called what is it called? It's like metadata, where you get data about data, and it tells you where the photograph was taken. It says Ellis Island on some people's pictures, even though they're standing on Liberty Island taking a picture of the Statue of Liberty. So I think it is interesting.
Yeah, it's just strange. It's just there's no real explanation of how this happened. It's just weird. I just know that it was on Liberty when I went there twice. That's all I know. But people might have gone the same day that I did, and it was on Ellis. Their ferry boat went over to Ellis Island the same day
I agree.
I don't remember
couldn't
the
do
star
it.
platform. I don't remember the star platform having like 8 points or 7
The
points.
star platform wasn't even there when I was a kid. I don't remember when I went in the 90s if the starport was there or not.
Well, I have to ask you. I have to ask you, since you say you were there when you were 8 years old or whatever. So
Yeah,
when
little
you
kid.
when you saw it, when you saw the Statue of Liberty, did you get to go up in the arm, or was it closed off?
We didn't go to it.
The torch. The torch.
My brother and I walked up all the steps of the
Did you go up to the head?
Empire State Building because at that time it was the tallest building in the world. So we were all proud of ourselves because we walked all the way up all the steps of the Empire State Building and back down.
Speaking of,
Well,
LJ, were the steps stark white, and could you go up one side and down the other?
Oh, in the Empire State Building?
No, at Statue of Liberty. At the Statue of Liberty.
I was little at the time, so there could be misremembering here, but I don't remember them being white. I remember them being kind of a dark color, brown or marble or something. And I just remember going up and turning right back down and coming down the same steps.
Well, while you guys talk, I'm gonna get a picture so Brian can show everyone what I'm talking about.
yeah, that's fine. And so we're talking about that platform, right? The star-shaped platform. It's called.
I'm talking about the Empire State Building. I'm not even talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the Empire State Building.
Yeah, we did not go to.
Well,
we did not go. We just saw it. You know.
Well,
we didn't go to it. We didn't go to Liberty Island.
LJ, I have to tell you that my grandfather, my great grandfather, helped build that. He was a bricklayer.
Wow.
Yeah, he worked there, and that's how he made his money building that building. It was one of his projects.
Well, what does he say about it?
He's no longer alive. I can't ask him.
I didn't know if he told you stories about it.
No, I know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this mushroom hunter guy, I did get a couple of winter mushrooms. I got some velvet foot and some turkey tail, but you know, same videos. He has different clothes. You know, now he has earrings and this thin blue thing and this kind of unisex scarf, which is fine. I don't mind those fashion choices. It's just they weren't there before, and now they are.
Well, Sandy, I guess you're sending that picture, right? So
yes,
we were talking about the Statue of Liberty, and I was looking it up about the star-shaped platform, which I don't remember it having like 7 points or whatever. I thought it was like a 5-point star. That could have been just me misremembering.
I'm sending them right now.
Well, it was the foundation of the Statue of Liberty. It was built in the early 1860s as part of the coastal defense system. The construction of Fort Wood, as is what it's called, began in 1855, but the progress was slow, due in part for funding shortages, but it was not completed until 1866. So the Statue of Liberty, which was a gift from France to the United States to commemorate the centennial of American independence, it was erected on top of the fort in 1886. So that's the key number there. Remember that, 1886. The star-shaped fort was repurposed as a foundation for the statue, as it provided a strong base to support the statue, and its star shape served as a symbol for the United States, which is referred to as the land of the free and the home of the brave. You guys remember the Colossus?
No.
Of Rhodes? The Colossus of Rhodes?
It's something about bring me your tired, your poor, that kind of thing.
Oh, the saying. That's the saying on. Yes, we sang that in chorus in high school. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Send these the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the gold door, and then behind us there was this.
Yeah, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Right.
The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Right. Send these the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. It's from Emma Lazarus' sonnet, "The New Colossus," which is engraved. I always thought it was the Colossus. It's the New Colossus. It's called.
Oh, I didn't really know the name of it. We sang it. That's why I know the words.
Yeah. I remember singing it too. They taught us in school, and
Yeah.
it's a plaque that's engraved beside the base of the Statue of Liberty. So it's considered one of the most famous poems in American literary history. All right, Sandy, I guess she sent me the photographs. Let me look.
Yeah, they're from the April 16th, 2020 presentation I did.
Okay.
I have one also about the date of Thanksgiving that I found this week.
So I drew it because it's hard to see because this is Richard Nixon. This is an old speech.
Wait, let me go back all the way to the. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a white facade on the front of the steps.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, that's all new. All that stuff is new.
Let me actually make it bigger so you guys can see. Is that better? You guys see that
Yes.
better? Okay.
Yes.
They look like
But they were
camel humps.
but they were still there in the 70s when Nixon gave his speech. It was just harder to see because everything was washed out.
In the 90s. I was there in the 90s. Those weren't there.
Same. School trip.
So what are they saying there? That they've always been there?
They've always been there. Well, not
Somebody-
always.
Might
They
have
haven't
been
always been there.
not there.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said New York is an Emmy.
It might be.
I'm actually from Long Island, New York, and I only been to the city a few times.
I visited Long Island once.
Okay, that's yeah, that's interesting that the stairs are there. They were not there before. I don't remember those either actually, and I remember seeing the bird's eye view.
The story I knew is people could go. I don't know if they could always go. I don't know what it was at first. Whether they could go to the crown and the torch or not. I know they closed down the torch for people to go up because it was like too dangerous. But you could still go to the crown. You could always go to the crown. That's what the story I heard.
Well, I know that like some people actually remember going up in the torch.
Well, you could. I mean, the story I heard, you could go to the torch up to a certain year, and then they closed it. But I think people remember going in the torch after that year, so they probably did. I don't know.
And for me, I remember them closing the torch because they were. Remember when they did the remodel of the statue where they cleaned the green off? I think it was 1986. I thought they closed the torch and the crown, both of them, at the same time while they were doing that.
They probably did.
But it was already closed for centuries, not centuries, decades at that point.
I know the whole statue looks different because one year my grandmother, she wasn't a really great quilter, but she quilted a little bit. Well, we went to Holland, Michigan during tulip time. The whole town dresses like Dutch, old-fashioned Dutch people, and there's tulips everywhere, and they do Dutch dances in the street, and there's Dutch food, and there's real old windmills, working windmills there. And the thing about it is they had a national contest for quilts of the Statue of Liberty, and the 50 state winners were going to be on display. So my mom and my grandmother and I made this pilgrimage to see these quilts. We were going to visit my brother who lives in another part of Michigan anyway. So anyway, I looked at dozens and dozens of pictures of the Statue of Liberty, not only in quilts, but other pictures. So like I really know what it looked like, and everybody knows it doesn't even look like the same thing anymore.
Jeff says 1992.
What happened in 1992?
He was in the torch.
What?
Jeff went into the torch in 1992.
Oh,
That's
the torch. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I have another Mandela about the date of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. What do you remember? Was it the third Thursday or the fourth Thursday?
Well, first of all, yes, I had my own little personal Emmy on that one too, because my birthday is November 25th, and the year I was born the day after Thanksgiving. So my birthday falls around Thanksgiving. Once in a great while falls on Thanksgiving, and I really was very aware of the date of Thanksgiving. It was always for me the third. I think I thought it was the third Thursday. What is it supposed to be now?
It's the fourth Thursday.
It's the fourth Thursday. That freaked me out. That one freaked me right out the door. Yes, because I knew it was the third Thursday because of my birthday. You know, absolutely the third Thursday, and yes, that was. I like when people say affect stuff. I mean that one. I don't get. I don't know how to say it. I don't get. I mean they weird me out. You know, but I don't get too messed up by them, you know. But that one really did weird me out. It's like,
I agree with you because my high school sweetheart, his birthday was November 26th, and it fell on Thanksgiving. You know, the first year we were dating, so I agree with you 100%. It upset me too. It was always the third Thursday for me.
Well, this is weirder than that. I had never seen this movie before, but it came up on YouTube as a free movie. It had Danny DeVito, so I thought, well, it has Danny DeVito. I'll watch it. It's called Other People's Money. Maybe people have seen it. It's a comedy.
I've heard of it.
They're celebrating. They're going to celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's Wednesday, October 17th. They tell the date, and the boss at this flyer factory is telling everybody Happy Thanksgiving in October. And there are people that remember Thanksgiving being in October. I'm not one of them, but there are people that remember Thanksgiving in October, and in this movie, it's in October.
All right, well, wait, really quickly, when is Canada's Thanksgiving?
What? Oh, Canada's.
Canada's is in October, so I wonder if he was Canadian.
No, they're called New England Wire and Cable, and I think he says they're in Rhode Island because they want him to move to Delaware, because Danny DeVito's trying to buy him out. He's a Wall Street shark, and he's trying to kill the factory. And
gotcha.
So anyway, it's United, and then he says, no, we're in Rhode Island, we're going to stay in Rhode Island. And so he's definitely in the United States. It's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, so he's in that movie, and I don't know if that's in Mandela. I don't know. This is an old movie, so if people have seen the movie in the past, maybe it was different in the past. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Sometimes I was going to post here in the chat. My birthday is December 3rd, and it's usually like a week, sometimes 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. I'm with you there. I feel like Thanksgiving sometimes falls around the 21st, or sometimes before that.
Yeah. It was the third Thursday. It was the third Thursday all my life until somebody told me that it was the fourth Thursday not very long ago.
Well, what do you think? Back in 2008, 2009, this is when things sort of changed a little bit for me. I remember hearing of a 13th Zodiac sign. And
really?
Yes, there's a new guy on the block, Ophiuchus, and he's the 13th sign. And for thousands of years, we've had only 12, and now we got a 13th Zodiac.
Hey, guys. How many weeks in a month?
4.
It's usually 4, yeah.
Well, I'm looking at every month of the calendar, and there's 5 weeks. Because each week is split up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fridays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mondays.
Sometimes I notice I get paid twice in a month or 3 times in a month.
No, Brian, you're not listening. November, December, January, February. Like every month there's 5. Let me look at all of 22. I'll tell you how many.
If you count the number of Fridays in a month, let's say.
It's not just Fridays, but it depends on when the week is. I'm starting with January of 2022. This is Mondays. The 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, the 35th, 31st. It's 5. 5 in January 2022. Now we're at February of 2022. Okay? February has the 1st through the 4th in the first week, the 7th through the 11th in the second week, the 14th through the 18th in the third week. Well, actually, I'm skipping the weekends. The point is, the 28th is the 5th week. Even in February, with 28 days, there's 5 weeks in February. Like 5 calendar, the way it's written out.
Can you tell
actual
me,
weeks.
Sandy, can you please tell us what day did Thanksgiving fall on? What number was it this year?
Oh, sure. Give me 1 minute. I don't think I'm like explaining what I mean. What I mean is visually, there's 5 weeks on a calendar now, whereas there were 4 weeks on a calendar sometimes, and I'm not seeing that.
I don't know.
It was the 24th. It was the 24th this year.
Full Strength says here, Full Strength 100 says only March has 5 Fridays.
No, that's not true. Well, maybe Fridays, but like I said, there's 5 Tuesdays or 5 Mondays or 5 Wednesdays or 5 Sundays. There's always like a 5th, one day of the week that has 5 now. I don't see any months. Oh wait, I'm looking. Wait, I found one. April. Nope. April's got the 30th.
A 2-year calendar from 2022 and 2023. I don't see anything too unusual about it because you always get a few days over. I don't know. It doesn't look. Nothing looks strange to me.
Hey, Tom just joined us. Hey, Tom, welcome.
Hey, glad to be here. Sorry, I was running real late.
That's all right. We've been talking pretty much about a little bit about everything tonight. We've been talking about Statue of Liberty, buildings moving from one place to another. LJ is our guest tonight. She's talking on the phone with us, and she was just sharing her story. I meant to ask LJ a quick question. I didn't get to ask you. So, we always ask people like, what was your wake up like? When did you wake up to the Mandela effect or whatever? When did you discover the Mandela effect, and how are you doing? And we're in this together,
Before you answer that, I just want to say something. November 2024, Thanksgiving is the 5th week of the month.
No.
It's November 28th. The first week is November 1st and 2nd. The second week is the 3rd and the 9th.
Yeah, that's a Mandela effect.
No,
yeah.
It's the 5th week of the month. I'm going to send you a screenshot of the month, Brian.
It was always the 4th or the 3rd.
Yeah, it was. Oh no, it was always the 4th or whatever. Yeah, it's a Mandela effect. I realized that a couple years ago or something.
I've never heard Thanksgiving being the 5th week of the month. I'm sending it to you now, Brian.
Okay, but
yeah, now it's that.
That's fine, Sandy. But I want to hear from our listener out there who is on the phone with us. So, can you please tell us your story?
It wasn't that long. It wasn't that many years ago. I think I told you. I saw Mandelas without knowing what they were. I saw a lot of the 2 brand names, but I just thought that was copyright issues and corporations splitting. So, but it seemed like there were too many of them, though. I thought there's an awfully lot of these. I saw Looney Tunes and Tunes. I saw Fruit Loops and Fruit Loops, Pennies and Pennies. But I think I just found out about it on YouTube. I don't remember what I came across first, whether it was Dan's show or one of the other ones. It hasn't been that many years. I don't know how many it's been. Might only be more than 5, less than 10, and I don't know. First, it just, it's probably not as many. No, it's probably it might be 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that. I don't know. At first, I was just real nerdy about it. It didn't really affect me. It didn't affect me emotionally for a long time. It was just like all these odd little things. And because I'm nerdy, they were very interesting to me. And and then some of them were weird. Some of them did weird me out. Like the dimes weirded me out. Thanksgiving movies
Yes.
weirded me out.
Wait. So you're wait. When you say the dime, you're talking about the Franklin.
I think the dime was the first one. But people say
It was the Eisenhower, wasn't it?
Totally weirded me out with the dime.
It was the Eisenhower. Eisenhower was on the dime.
Yes, it was Eisenhower. Yes, it was.
Different shows. I'd seen hundreds of them probably. But that damn dime thing really got me. That was the first one that got me. Because, I mean, I'm looking at physical coins in my drawer that changed, I think that one was the first one.
Yeah, and it was a bald guy. He didn't have hair.
Yeah, they don't look anything alike. I don't know how to explain it. I don't have a huge reaction to it. It didn't I wasn't sick for days or anything like that. It was just it didn't do anything much more than just completely weird me out. That's the best way I could describe it. And the ones that affect me the most, that's about the level. I'm not deeply like some people are.
Well, the thing is that one gets me. I'm a coin collector. Okay, yeah. I can show you all my coins maybe on another time segment. But yeah, I've got. It really kind of shocked me when I saw the dime shift. It was Eisenhower.
Yeah, that's the first one that affected me. I guess affected me the most. I guess, and it, like I said, they just kind of majorly weird me out. But I don't know. I don't cease to function. I don't. It's just I don't know. I just go on with life. I guess.
Well, I see Eddie Von Kuhn. I guess he changed his name from Keen, Kuhn, and now it's Con. Eddie, are you playing tricks on me? He says Eisenhower is on the 70s large coins. I just got 25 of them a month ago. So yes, Eisenhower was also on the silver dollar, but I remember him being on the dime as well.
Eisenhower was never on a dollar for me.
Really?
I don't think so.
He was Kennedy was on the $half dollar. I know that.
Kennedy was on the half.
You had for the longest time.
You know what? I'm really just not picturing this. You know what? I have real silver dollars, like the Walking Liberty.
Yes, the Walking Liberty. Yes.
And those. So it's I think I'm so used to those, I can't even picture a normal one. Maybe it did have Eisenhower. Maybe I just didn't. I think I've seen so few silver dollars that are silver that I probably don't even know who was on it.
No, there's residue. I was watching, I think, Life Matrix. He was presenting on his channel, and he was showing a newspaper clipping that actually showed Eisenhower on the dime. Like it said it in the newspaper.
I've seen residue
for
the Eisenhower.
That's one thing. If you have it in your mind, you're 100% on it. If you're 100% on something, no one's going to change your mind. That is your memory,
Right.
And I'm not going to judge. We're not here to judge.
This is something that I don't know. This didn't affect me emotionally. It's just majorly strange. And I did talk about this on Dan's show. This was maybe about a year ago. And this wasn't original with me. I don't remember the guy, but this guy said this. And then I tested it, and I found out he was right. He said, go outside, no matter where you live. You can live anywhere. And just do this. Go out and look all directions, north, south, east, and west, and see which one is the highest. And you'll see that it's the south. So I tried this. Well, where I live, everything's a hill. So it's kind of hard to tell because everything's a hill. But I started noticing it trended. The highest hill would always be to the south. And I would check it, as I traveled around locally. The highest hill was always to the south. And then I started looking at whenever I might watch homesteading videos or hiker videos, and so these are in different states, right? They're in Arizona, they're in Colorado, they're all over the place. and they would give you some reference. Well, I'm hiking north today, or here's the sunset, so you know that's west. So then I would look all in their video, and I would, get orientated. And doggone it, the highest land would be to the south every time. So then I called Dan Show, and Nobleness D was on, and he started looking all over the world, because I said I only looked at this in the States. I didn't look at it. He started looking all over the world, and he saw the same thing. The land was sloping up to the south everywhere. And what he was saying, a lot of the land has moved at that time. Now, this could have all changed since last year. But he said the land has all moved north. And he said it might be that as the land was shoved north, the land lurched back south. But, I mean, this to me was just mega weird, that all land everywhere was sloping upward to the south. And I haven't checked it now for a long time, so it could have changed since then. But, I know this was 8 months ago or a year ago, something. I don't remember exactly how long. But, that's just, how can the land everywhere be sloping up to the south? Wouldn't that make the whole world a mountain? Or a one-sided mountain? I don't know, it was weird.
I was just looking to see if there was anything new in Mandela Land on Reddit. There's a whole world of things on Reddit,
Yeah, I don't look at Reddit.
I don't either.
I think there was one subject I followed for a while on Reddit, but I don't generally go there.
Reddit is a lot of people watching shows and then going and posting what they saw on the shows. That's what I see when I'm there.
I see a lot of memes. I go there to check out the latest, greatest memes. So, Tom talks a lot about wave functions. So somebody here posts, this is a very common misunderstanding about quantum physics, and it's referring to experiments with electrons and photons acting as waves and particles. I might lose some of you here, but only collapsing into waveform after being observed. These particles are able to reverse render themselves into either form after observation, either by remote camera or direct observation. So could this backwards rendering ability, in essence, give the ability to re-render anything in time and space and somehow be contributing to the Mandela effect? Observation, this person posts here, observation has everything to do with reality, and there seems to be a connection, maybe. So someone says it doesn't require human observation. Someone replies to this on Reddit, says it doesn't require human observation to collapse the wave function. Any macro scale interaction causes it. Do you know what I'm talking about here, Tom? You know what this is?
What's that again?
So are humans special or important in the process of quantum mechanics, quantum physics here, when we're talking about collapsing a wave function? Are we, in other words, is the human observation, does it enhance the experience of a Mandela effect?
I personally believe so. Like I said this a lot of times before, I call it a faith-based reality. The one main evidence that supports it all is the placebo effect, if you can research that. In other words, people simply believe that something is real, takes effect, and therefore it manifests in reality. I mean, it's clinical studies that, you take a fake surgery or a fake pill, and a good amount of people actually get healed or cured from it because they simply believe it. And that's their consciousness. And even in the Bible, when we talk about faith-based reality, all the miracles that Jesus did was by people's faith. Like the woman with the issue of blood, I'm sure a lot of people know that one, where she had this issue of blood, and because she believed that if I could only touch a hem of his garment, I would be healed. And so she believed it. As soon as she touched it, she got healed. And Jesus didn't even know who touched her. So it wasn't directly that Jesus healed her, she used him as a point of contact. And even the centurion's faith, he said, "You just say the word, and my servant will be healed." And Jesus, such great faith because he just believed, and that's the whole point. Jesus even said, "If you believe in your heart, say unto this mountain, be thou cast down, removed, thrown in the sea, and not doubt in your heart, but believe in what you believe that you believed what you said you had, that'll be done unto you." And even people who set goals and everything, and you see all these other people who make these incredible, beyond natural limits of things happening in the reality because they believe it. The common denominator is they believe it, and that's the whole thing. Getting back to your consciousness when you're focused, that's how it works. So I really believe it happens, and of course, the Mandela effect proves that reality is not static. Things 1 minute will be one way, and instantly it'll shift. In fact, I told this testimony before about how when I saw some right before my eye, the stage shifted 18 inches, and when you really look at that, and people, we were always setting up the stage to be lined up with this outlet, and we were doing it for months. And then what happened was one day they said, "We can't line it up." And I stooped down, looked straight into the outlet, and at the first glance, the stage was perfectly centered. Then, right before my eyes, I saw it shift 18 inches. It just shifted. It did move. It went from being centered to 18 inches over instantly, like a quantum jump. And scientists see all this stuff happen at the micro level, at the particle level. They see things come and go. They observe it. But this is in the macro level where we see it in the larger things, like in our reality. So, and then you got this simulation theory, and I think a lot of people misinterpret that. It's not things aren't fake or unreal. Things are real, obviously, but the thing that's the behavior that's similar to like a computer program or video game is there's defaults, law of gravity, thermodynamics, and the list goes on. Well, same in a video game. There's defaults in a video game or a computer program that you cannot change it. But with our consciousness or with our observer effect, when we focus on it and really believe it, it'll shift. Now, this is just a clue because if it were a standard, consistent, repeatable thing, like everybody be walking in miracle signs and wonders and all that, and it's supernatural all the time. But that doesn't, because I really believe that somehow when you know that you know that you know, then that's when things start being affected. Unless you know 100%, I mean, but that's a clue. That's what I'm saying. That's my theory from what I've been studying for many years, and it just kind of makes sense. Somebody want to chime in?
Well, I wanted to say, Tom, we had one of these huge things just pop in the chat. Somebody said it was V-Base who said the Ewoks battle for Endor. Does anybody remember this movie from 1985? I don't. Anybody?
I never heard of that.
And
No,
I
I've never
watched
heard
all
of
the
it.
Star Wars. I don't ever remember this movie. I know like the Ewoks were featured in they were in The Empire Strikes Back. Or no, it was Return of the Jedi. I think it was Return of the Jedi, right? It was one of the two.
One of them.
Yeah, I don't remember this movie. Does anybody remember this? Anyway, great job. Great find, V-Base.
The only experience that I have that relates to like waves or particles or anything, I'm into alternative health, as anybody that listens to Dan's shows knows. energy elixirs. I don't understand them, but I can attest that they do work. And as far as a placebo effect, it doesn't work on me a lot, I don't think, because a lot of things I try, they don't work. So I send them back, or I get my money back, or whatever. And I only stick with things where I actually see something get better. And these release quantum energy somehow, and they go to whatever part of your body they're supposed to help. Like one of them is for liver detox pathways, and these energies somehow hit or vibrate your liver, and you actually regrow your detoxification pathways. All I can tell you is I was turning yellow, and now my liver is really good. So I can say that these things work, but they're in that realm of quantum energy particles that I don't understand, but it does seem to work.
Well, so is this like a quantum healing?
Yeah, they're quantum energy enhanced elixirs, and I take all. My health was very extremely bad. That's how I even started into the alternative stuff. And it's sad to say many of my friends with similar health are not here anymore, and I am. So it has made that difference. And I've improved my health over time. My health is not perfect, but it's better. And so yeah, and these have really helped. They work very slowly and very gradually over time, and you have to use them exactly as they say, or they won't work. But I can say that they really work. I was down to about 8 basic categories of food that I could eat because of food sensitivities, and now I'm up to almost a normal array of food. That took several years to happen, but that was from that's from the allergy elixir. So these do work, and they just send these energies toward. They're honed in to a frequency that'll go toward that part of your body and fix that exact part of your body. Which I can say those words, but I actually don't understand it. I don't understand it, but I can say the words. I can tell you it works. So this has to do with energy and frequencies.
Well, I believe frequency does enhance things.
The company is called Get Healthy Again. If anybody wants to try them, I can tell you they do work. And you can ask for if you are a low income person, you can ask for the wholesale pricing. But that's my experience with particles and frequencies. That
is it are you referring to liver detox?
Yeah, I mean, I take a bunch of these, but each one has helped me. One's an allergy; it's got rid of a lot of my allergies I had, and I still have a little bit of the allergies and asthma, but very minor compared to what it was. And the food allergies, it really got rid of those. Food sensitivities, it really reversed those. And now Optimal C, what that does is it gets your body to produce its own vitamin C. So instead of you having to supplement, your body creates its own. And one of the effects of that is it's reversed a lot of like arthritis symptoms. That in conjunction with some other things I do, but that definitely helped in that realm. So each of these, that's all they do. They release energy. That's what they do. And the energy is tuned to a frequency so that it hits just that part. It's tuned into your liver or tuned into wherever. One is adrenals. I had adrenal fatigue very severely, and there's one for kidneys and adrenals, and that's improved a lot. So I can say these things work. I don't understand them, but they work. But that's all they are. They're energy. They're frequencies of energy particles. I guess they're particles or waves or both.
Well, it's like that joke. um, there's this joke about a guy who sees a psychologist, and he tells his doctor, he says, "Look, doc, sometimes I feel like I'm a wigwam, other times I feel like I'm a teepee." And the doc tells him, "Stop it, you're too tense."
I like that. I like dumb jokes. No joke too stupid for me.
It's like these electrons can't make up their mind. They want to be a particle, other times a wave.
Well, waves are made of particles, so that sort of makes sense. And a wave, can be put into a line if you force it, right? So it can stop being a wave if you kind of make it stop being a wave. I'm talking about in water.
Tom, you good? Sandy, you good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yep, we're here.
I guess it is a school and a work night for most folks, so I guess we can cut it off right here. We'll be back on again 2 weeks from now to cover some more Mandela effect theories, and definitely we'll take some more callers in. And it was nice of you all to join today, especially on such short notice. We had how many people? 32 people. Wow, that's incredible, you guys.
Thank you for calling in, LJ. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, LJ.
Oh, yeah, this is my outlet. I don't have anybody else to talk to. That's why I call in.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you for joining us again, LJ. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Okay.
Have a great night, and God bless everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.